Hi guys, can you hear me? I'm at work right now, so it's a bit noisy. Sawa, thanks. Uh, so Linda started us off on miscellaneous isoprenoids, Linda and Seraphine, and they covered monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes. Monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes. Just a second. Yeah, okay. Monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes. Now, the the pathway for both monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, or rather the common pathway, so it's the mevalonate pathway. And this is an example of the monoterpenes, especially the common ones. We saw the likes of valerian, which is used for sleeping. Yeah. Mm, the other ones was the bogbean leaf, sanctuary, the iridoids, but the most important one pharmaceutically was the valerian, because valerian you even find it on over the counter sleeping aids. Yeah. Then for we moved further and looked at sesquiterpenes. For sesquiterpenes, we saw the anica flowers, feverfew, artemisinin, and also santonica flowers. Now, artemisinin, of course, as an antimalarial, it's very important. The other one is the feverfew. Feverfew used for pain relief of fever. And santonica flowers, so santonica flowers, they can be used for roundworms, threadworms. Yeah. Next, so okay, that was essentially it for the monoterpenes and the sesquiterpenes. So today we'll be looking at the diterpenoids, the triterpenes, and the polyterpenoids. And as a summary, let me just go to the first slide there about. As a summary, because I'll focus on the pharmaceutically important ones. For the diterpenes, we have the ginkgo biloba. That's the most important one in the class of diterpenes. You know, ginkgo biloba is especially used for things such as Alzheimer's and dementia. It has a role to play in memory because it increases blood circulation to the brain. So ginkgo biloba, that's a very important one. And then when we go to the triterpenoids, triterpenoids we won't see any major ones, but when we go to the tetraterpenes, we'll see the carotenoids, which we get from carrots, just from the name, beta carotene. So they are a good source of vitamin A. So we use them for vision, and we also know vitamin A has some antioxidant activity. Then finally, the polyterpenoids. Polyterpenoids, they are the most important one. What we have there is rubber. Yeah. So that's just as a summary. But now let's start on the diterpenoid. Let's start on the diterpenoid. Oh, the other important sesquiterpene I forgot to mention was gossypol. Gossypol, which is cotton, used as a male anti-fertility agent. Yeah. Nelly used to love this question a lot. So let's look at diterpenoids. Diterpenoids, again, we'll just be repeating what we've been saying from mono and ses. It's the mevalonate pathway, And the mevalonate pathway, we've seen it in terpenes, we've seen it in the essential oils, we've seen it synthesizing also the steroidal part of the saponins. Yeah, so don't forget this pathway is important. Yeah, then now let's go to the example. This is just a lot of stuff about them, but the most important thing is the ginkgo biloba, and it gets that name because its leaves are bilobed. Its leaves are bilobed, so you can remember ginkgo by that. Its leaves are bilobed. Here you can see it. There's a lobe there. Yeah. So we get it from the leaves of the tree, ginkgo biloba. That's where we get our drug from, our ginkgo from. And what is it used for? It's used for dementia. We mentioned dementia, Alzheimer's, and it's also used as a bronchodilator. So if it's used as a bronchodilator, of course, it should be used as an anti-asthmatic. So bronchodilator, dementia, Alzheimer's, and it works by improving circulation of blood to the brain, cerebral circulation. Yeah. So ginkgo biloba is a diterpenoid and uses bronchodilator and dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Yeah. Then next we go to the triterpenoids. The triterpenoids will mention these quasinoids. Quasinoids are they are derived from the stem wood of that Picrasma excelsa. Yeah, but quassia wood or quassia just the uses is used majorly for as a bitter tonic. The second thing it will be Kiasi, let me get back to you. Let's continue. So quassia we've seen it as a bitter tonic, and it's also used for expulsion of worms. Also used for expulsion of worms. So for triterpenoids again, nothing much. Like here, they aren't questions that were being tested from here. So next we go to the tetraterpene. For tetraterpenes, the major thing we have is the carotenoid, where we get our vitamin A from. So the ingredient of interest here will be the beta carotene, And a good example where we get carotenoids from, of course, is the carrots, just from the name. Yeah. And carotenoids, the other thing, they also contribute to that color. They contribute to that orange color that you see in these carotenoids containing in the plants. Yeah. So major use of carotenoid, vision and as an antioxidant. Vision and an antioxidant. That's the major uses. Also vitamin A also has some role in immunity, but majorly is antioxidant and for normal vision. We know that joke for if you have bad eyes, you cool carrots. So carotenoids there. Carotenoids are tetraterpenes. So before we go to polyterpenoids, we've looked at diterpenoids. We focused majorly on ginkgo biloba. We've seen for ginkgo, we get it from the leaves. The leaves are bilobed and it's used as a bronchodilator and for dementia and Alzheimer's disease. That was used for the diterpenes. When we came to triterpenoids, we focused on the quassia wood. Quassia, we saw it being used for the expulsion of worms. N as an enema, as a beta tonic. The other uses are here anti-amoeba, anti-malarial, and anti-anemia, but majorly as a beta tonic and expulsion of threadworms. Then we've gone now, we've looked at the tetraterpenes, and under tetraterpenes, we've looked at carotenoids, which is the major one. For carotenoids, we've seen carotenoids, we'll be using them as antioxidants to improve vision. Those are the two major uses. You can also use them to boost immunity. But the two major uses, antioxidant and for vision. Because we know carotenoids will be then before you form vitamin A, you have to form your beta carotene. So they are also used for that. So vitamin A and vision, they go together. Finally, we look at the polyterpenoids. Polyterpenoids here, what we majorly have is rubber. What we just have here is rubber. We know rubber will be used in this forming this latex-based stuff. Yeah, such as the condoms. Okay. Yeah, so for polyterpenoids, just remember rubber and this gutta-percha. That one, pharmaceutically, I didn't see as if it has a major use, but it's used in the manufacture of surgical instruments. Yeah, so if anyone has a question or an addition, feel free. So okay, no questions. Just the two most the most important stuff to remember from isoprenoids is number one, it's they are synthesized from the mevalonic acid pathway or the mevalonate pathway, and then the few examples of the isoprenoids, the monoterpenes there, we have majorly, we have valerian there, valerian roots, right? Then for the sesquiterpenes, don't forget artemisinin, because artemisinin is it's a commonly asked question because it's an anti-malarial and we are still fighting malaria in our country. So don't forget artemisinin for the sesquiterpenes. Then when we go to the diterpenoids, when we go to the diterpenoids, Apple, we are seeing the other thing is ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba, kwanza, it's even being sold on over the counter as a something to boost memory. So ginkgo biloba for memory and as a bronchodilator. That's the important diterpenoid. When you go to the triterpenoids, just remember the quassia wood. The tetracarotenoids. Polyterpenoids, no, it's just rubber that is there. So that would be the summary for me for miscellaneous isoprenoids. Yeah. Unless Terrapin, maybe you have something to add, because we also discussed this. We can take a 10-minute break and then we come back and do Cyanophore glycosides here.
I don't think I have something to add per se, but what is it called? Vitamin A. It's in, we said what, beta carotene, which is a tetraterpene, but also in retinol, which is a diterpene. So essentially, but I was trying to look at it. So is vitamin A a diterpene or a tetraterpene?
I think it's diterpene because even in the notes, I saw nearly at least it's a diterpene. Yeah. Yeah, vitamin A is a diterpene. But now vitamin A, it's formed from hydrolysis of beta carotene. So from breakdown of beta carotene. So
Yeah.
maybe beta carotene is a tetra, and then when you break it down, you get a diterpene, which is vitamin A.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi guys. Sorry. Clients calling. Cyanophore glycoside. This one we'll do it in less than 5 minutes. Yeah. So cyanophore glycoside, the other name for cyanophore glycoside is also cyanogenetic glycoside. And once they are hydrolyzed or once they are broken down, they yield this hydrocyanic acid. And this is what gives them that name, cyanophore glycoside or cyanogenetic glycoside, because they yield this cyanic acid. And the unique thing in this cyanic acid, utaona it's closely related to cyanide and cyanide poisoning. So, and it's called this stuff now, especially cassava. Now, cassava here, India, I went through this stuff and I saw this is the only testable thing. That if someone eats raw cassava, they can die because of cyanide poisoning. Because cassava contains this cyanophore glycoside. Once they reach your body, once they reach the acid environment in the stomach, they will yield this cyanic acid, hydrocyanic acid, which will be responsible for causing the cyanide poison. So take home message from the cyanophore glycoside is cassava contains cyanogenic glycoside, and this glycoside or rather for cassava when eaten raw, it will cause cyanide poison. But when cooked, when boiled, it's inactivated or broken down. Yeah. So
Guys,
this money would.
Sorry, just a minute. You said the poisonous content is hydrocyanic acid in cassava.
Yeah, in cassava. Maybe that's what I found. I didn't find this toxin for cassava specifically. I don't know, maybe Chaya has something to say.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Spiderman, tunasema nikichemsha cassava, then I take hiyo maji, so it's completely safe.
Adi ukichemsha cassava,
then nikunywe hiyo soup, hiyo maji yake. It's safe. Like you're saying that once you boiling it, you sort of unamaliza nini the whatever, the glycoside, the cyanide on heating.
Okay, let me go here. Am I help it here? It's not. From where I read, they didn't talk about the water, when you boil now. They were talking about the cassava itself. If you boil it and then you eat the cassava, uko sawa. But they didn't mention what about the water in which you boiled in.
Because someone was telling me
they
happened to boil the cassava, and then they gave whatever that water to some goats, and they died.
So Chai, are you trying to say upon heating, this acid doesn't get destroyed? Is that what you're saying?
Well, okay. I think that's what. Yeah.
From my, I've just Googled and they are saying you should discard the water in which you boil cassava in. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's also toxic, or at least it's assumed to be toxic.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I don't think, I don't know if it helps the heating, but I think the more inanini ita concentrate kwa hiyo ni in the water that you
Kwa
got.
hiyo maji kwa imekuwa extracted.
Yeah. Ama mnaweza test.
Yeah.
Mnaweza test lakini ama mbuzi tuambie.
Divya, can we give you that assignment? You buy cassava and boil the water, then you drink the water. Then you tell us how you do it.
You want me to die? Okay.
You're advanced in knowledge. You're advanced in knowledge. You'll be a
Species for your research.
uh,
I think the goat was more than enough.
yeah, anyway, yeah. So for this one, raw cassava is the main thing here. Raw cassava, it contains this cyanogenic glycoside. And don't eat cassava while raw. Yeah, that's the one thing I found that was important here in terms of the cyanophore glycoside. Then it's tested. You just boil. You moisten the drug, and you put a strip of paper in that mini with the drug where you moisten the water is heated. But this question I saw it somewhere. This paper should be moistened or soaked in this ingredient, sodium picrate. It's the one which will react to the hydrocyanic acid to give a red color. So don't forget it, sodium picrate will react to the hydrocyanic acid to give a red color. Yeah. Then finally, it's just something I want us to note is that there are other miscellaneous glycosides, and these are such as the steroidal alkaloidal glycoside. Remember, there was such a question in the board exam that so there are such a thing as steroidal alkaloidal glycoside, and they'll be found especially in the Solanaceae family and Liliaceae. Solanaceae is where we have the potatoes. Here, just go right here for a second. Okay, so cassava is not there. Yeah, potatoes. I think potatoes is a major one. Potatoes will be there. So for this one, I just want you to know that the steroidal alkaloidal glycosides, number one, they exist, and number two, they have hemolytic properties. So we only saw hemolytic properties under saponin, and now we've seen them under steroidal alkaloidal plant. Steroidal alkaloidal glycosides, I mean. Yeah. So here you just see the structure. Yeah. Then the antibiotic glycosides, streptomycin from streptidine, nucleoside. Yeah. Yeah, nothing much here, honestly. From the cyanophore glycosides, I only saw the interest. Most important thing to mention was the cassava containing the hydrocyanic acid. Then, okay, there's something in the comments. Let me read it. Michelle has written, not all cassava is poisonous, only those which stay in the farm for too long, allowing for the buildup of linamarin, because in the coast regions, raw cassava is eaten. You can say, thank you so much, Michelle, that the cassava which has stayed too long in the farm is the one that is more likely to be poisonous. Yeah. Yeah, if there's any questions or additions, that's the end of my discussion.
I think the solanine, the one in the potatoes, it's also poisonous to some degree. I don't know much about any fatalities, but also it's also more common in the green potatoes, ones that are not mature, and also the heating does not detoxify them.
I think they become green upon sunlight exposure. The potatoes, that is.
Okay, if there are no more questions or additions, we can end there. Alkaloids tutaanza nini jioni?